Okay, so we're back again. So let's just there we are. Okay, so fantastic. So good evening, everybody. My name is Amy, also known as AmyChezzanator, and welcome back to Tuesday night stream. And tonight we're going to be starting a new game that I found on Xbox Game Pass called The Forgotten City, which is set in ancient Rome. And it's a bit like an adventure game where you have to sort of make decisions and it affects the outcome of the story. So I've no idea how this is going to go. I've not even quite decided if I'm going to use my gamepad or the keyboard yet. I'm going to just see what I'm more comfortable with. So we'll get started anyway, and let's have a look at this one. Quite excited for this one, actually. Interesting. Okay, it's a mystery adventure with multiple endings.
Hey, you're alive. When I dragged you out of the river, I thought you were never gonna wake up. I checked your pockets for ID, a phone, maybe. I hope you don't mind. But all I found was some loose change. So, wanna tell me who you are? Well, it's nice to meet you. And I'm sorry to pry, but any idea why you were floating down the river? What's the last thing you remember? Oh, you're an archaeologist? Then you'll definitely want to hear this. I don't know if it's exactly what you're looking for, but there are some ruins just behind you. Roman, I think. I need you to go in there and see if you can find a guy named Al for me. He went in there a few hours ago, and he hasn't come out. I've been freaking out, wondering if he's trapped or injured or worse. I would have gone in after him, but he made me promise to stay here, no matter what. There's no way I'm leaving without him, so I'm just kind of stuck here, waiting. What I mean is, I was hoping you wouldn't mind going in there to find him. If you can do that, I can get both of you back to civilization in my boat. Please? Oh, of course. Sorry, I don't mean to be pushy, What do you want to know?
I have no idea, love. Okay,
He's the guy who washed up on the riverbank not long before you did. I thought maybe you two knew each other. I guess not. But maybe the two of you can piece together what you're doing here. In any case, you'll like him, I'm sure. Once you find him, that is.
okay.
You really don't remember? We're in Italy. This river is the Tiber. Oh, there's not much to tell. Feels like I've spent my whole life in a dead-end job with an endless commute. Know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what's your name?
Oh, I'd rather not say if it's all the same to you.
Okay.
All right, fine. Sorry if I sounded cagey, it's just that I don't always get the best reactions when I introduce myself. My name's Karen.
All those those Karen memes have really ruined that name, huh? Yeah, probably.
You're welcome. Always happy to help. Was there anything else you wanted to ask? What am I, an idiot? You could hike a long, long way in any direction and never find another soul. Trust me.
Okay.
Not much, really. But imagine what you might find in there. Priceless ancient artifacts. Al...
Okay.
Great. So you're ready to go look for Al?
I guess so.
Thank you. The entrance is just past those columns behind you. Please, hurry. Oh, and he left this here. But I think you'll need it more than I will.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Oh, that's better. Right, okay, just need to make sure that, right. That's the zoom, okay. Right, cool. Let's do this then. Let's see what's afoot. What have we got here? Enter the ruins, okay. Enter the ruins, okay. Pick anything up? Evidently not. Okay. Just a quick look at the controls again, actually, just whilst I remember. Binding, so up, down, shift is to sprint, mind you, you'll probably tell me all this anyway. Crouch, controls crouch, E used to interact, cancel duration, X objective guys M or M. Okay, cool. Okay, that should be pretty easy to remember. There's not really any combat in this game by the looks of it. From what I can gather, well, there might be a little bit, but we'll soon find out. Okay, so
If you're reading this, it means I've discovered the entrance to an ancient Roman city hidden deep underground. Its existence is long forgotten, all knowledge of it lost, except in the Latin inscription here. It reads, "You who wish to enter the city, step forth and be judged. The virtuous shall be rewarded with eternal life in paradise. The wicked shall find themselves showered in gold, but in vain, for this shall be their final resting place." Could an underground city have remained a secret for all this time? Could people have survived down there, against the odds? It seems there's only one way to find out. If I'm not back in an hour, I'm somewhere on the other side. Consider this an invitation. Or a warning. Al Worth.
okay. Al, thank you very much for your input there. Let's see if there's anything else. No, doesn't look like it's going further. Looks like it's into the thick of it then, by the looks of it. Nothing to pick up around here, no, okay. We're going in. Oh, what's this? Backpack full of worn hiking clothes and empty food packets. Nothing valuable here, but still it seems strange that Owl left it behind. Okay. Bearing... Oh! I was about to look. Oh my god. Okay. Is there anything down here? No. Let's get back up to air. Okay. Follow Owl's trail. I guess it's just follow the torches then. Always remember they're watching. Ah, so basically, being an archaeologist, I can read it. Oh well, there's no prizes for guessing why I chose to be an archaeologist. If you don't know, then you're definitely new here. Okay. By the way, I'm not actually an archaeologist. Not in real life. It would be cool to be. And I'll shut up now because I'm going to play this. Anything to look at here? I'm Amy. Who are you? Are you a friend? Nice place, by the way. Very nice. I like it a lot. The sculptures are very nice. Take my time and look around this place. Okay. Looking for any inscriptions or anything that might be worth noting. Gotta look around for things. Oh, it's a mosaic. An ancient Roman mosaic depicting a godlike figure turning a man into gold. That one's a bit eerie. A Roman gladiator mid-stride. What could have made a gladiator flee? In fact, he's turned to gold as well. Anything else? Nothing else to look at there. Say what now? I don't know what language that was. Does my archaeologist instincts have any idea what that might be? Curious, guess me. Oh, please don't tell me I'm frozen. Please don't tell me I've frozen. Are you kidding me right now? Probably will do that occasionally until I get my new PC. This is cool. I'd do this in real life. This is cool. Young Roman woman looks like she was begging for her life. Yikes. Any more inscriptions I need to look at here? Look around the edges first. And then I'll see. Doesn't look like there's anything else to pick up. Nothing up there, nothing on the ground. Right, what's them? There's another statue up there. Can we look at this one? Don't think I can get in there, no. Oh, this is eerie but very, very cool. I've got good expectations for this game. I can crouch as well.
Why are you here?
Because I'm a nosy so-and-so and I want to have a look at this bloody ruins. Also, do you know where Al is? Or even who Al is? If you could just sort of whisper the direction that he's in, that would be extremely helpful. I don't think you're going to do that. Anything up here for me to look at? No, can't go any further. Okay, cool. Any more statues for me to inspect? This fella here? Nope. Let's have a look at this one. A Roman military commander attempting to scramble away from something. What perchance? I just hope this flashlight's got decent battery power in it. Oh, hello. Hi. A Roman legionary in state of terror. Were these guys all sort of like frozen in time or turned to gold by some weird curse or something? Because it kind of looks like that. Okay, so there's one torch there. So we're lit up along the way. Okay. it's a Roman ruins. Of course, there's nobody home. I see all this. Oh, hello. What's happening here? Statue of a Roman woman who appears to be praying for help that never came.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Oh, jeez. Inscribed stone tablets. Yeah, so there it is.
To whoever reads this, I'm sorry you had to find me like this. And worse, that you'll suffer the same fate I did. I've spent a lifetime in this place, going around and around in circles, searching for a way out. The inscription was right. There is no way back. And here there are only two options: death, or that godforsaken doorway into the past. I made the mistake of stepping through it. I wanted to set things right. And I tried. I really tried. Whatever I did, it took me right back to the beginning. Don't make the same mistake. Better to end it all now and find out what awaits you beyond that portal.
Alright. Golden statue of an read it first. Golden statue of an old man wearing modern clothing. This must be Al, but how is that possible? The golden curse, didn't they? What's up here? Can I go up here? No, can't go up there. Okay. Just looking around first. How did he have time to write that? That's what I want to know. Right. Guess I've got to go through a time portal. Time to go time travelling. A young Roman woman in a state of panic. Yes, this is, excuse me? Is that you? Did you just say that? Hello? That was you. That was you. Talking statues. You can't move, but you can talk. Sounds getting horribly unsettling. And I like it. Right, don't rush me, love. I'm having a look around here. Much to look at. Just rooms. Rooms and rooms and rooms. Jeez. Yep, I know, love, I know. You don't need to tell me. I know I'm close. Yes, I know. Told your horses. There's a statue here. Roman man on his knees as if begging his gods for mercy. Oh, gold. Okay. The remains of a human, whoever it was, died a long, long time ago. Yes. Okay. Here we go. I'm not sure what photo mode constitutes, but Roman relief depicting a great circular portal and two women. I wonder who they could be. I'm presuming it's saved, but we'll save it anyway. Oh, okay. We're back. We're back in time.
Salve, friend. I'm Galerius. Mind telling me who you are and what you were doing in the Shrine of Proserpina?
I'm Amy and I've come from the future. He's gonna think I'm mental. He's gonna think I'm mental if I say that.
Yeah, you know, agricultural goddess of springtime? You're not from around here, are you? Oh, I see what you did there. Changing the subject like that. Nice try. But I'll ask again. Who are you? And what were you doing in the shrine? No idea what you're talking about. Oh, wait. Are you a bit, you know, not right in the head?
I knew it.
That's all right, friend. Everyone's welcome here. We sort of lose track of the date down here, but it feels like the beginning of spring to me, so I'd say early March? It's 817 AUC. Sorry, you look confused. 817 years since the founding of Rome. Which part of the Empire are you from, exactly? CE? No idea what you're talking about. But listen, most folks seem a bit confused when they get here, but you seem very lost, and in more ways than one.
Oh,
So
yeah.
let me make this nice and simple for you. Live by our law here, and we'll all get along just fine. Not laws, law. There's just one, the golden rule. And the punishment for breaking it's... well, it's kind of horrific. But our magistrate insists we take all newcomers to see him, so I guess I'll let him fill you in. So then, you coming?
Yeah, okay.
Follow me. When I first arrived, I couldn't believe there were people living down here. But, as you can see, we've got a nice little community now. Only 23 of us at the moment, if you count the 3 who are missing. No idea how, since nobody knows a way out. But it's just big and dark enough to get lost in, if you're not careful.
Aren't you going to introduce me to your pretty new friend, Galerius?
Keep it in your loincloth, Aurelia. I'm taking her to see the magistrate.
That pompous old bore won't be magistrate for much longer. Anyone who helps vote him out today drinks at my bar for free tonight.
Politics. I'd stay clear of it and her, if I were you. She's... it's not my place to say. Down on your right is our farm, where I grow all the food you'll ever want. As long as all you want is leek, cabbage, and wheat. Huh. That one usually gets a chuckle.
The bloodless shadows wander without flesh or bone.
Don't mind Livia. She means well. She's just been in a bad place since... well, you know, I don't know what happened to her. Up here on your right is the chasm. If you've got a weapon, it belongs way down at the bottom. Up on your left is the forum, where you can visit the market or get yourself patched up in Lucretia's clinic in the Shrine of Apollo. Most of us have almost nothing, just what we had on us when we arrived, and what we've been able to make and scrounge up since. And this central plateau is where the magistrate and the other patricians live, so don't expect a warm welcome.
Hilarious. You're meant to be working the farm, not trudging dirt into the villas.
Take it easy, Horatius. I was just taking our new friend here to see the magistrate.
Well, he's asked me to escort the newcomer personally. The farm. Go. Now.
You'd better go with him. But just remember, they're not like you and me. Don't let them use you.
What was that? What did you just say?
I said it'll take some getting used to.
Yeah, I'm watching you, farm boy. Greetings, citizen. My name's Horatius. Magistrate Sentius asked me to escort you to him personally. Follow me, please. Follow me. The only thing you really need to understand right now is the golden rule. Let me see if I can explain it this way. When I was serving in the Legion, if there was a mutiny brewing in one cohort, the legate in charge wouldn't waste time finding the bad apples among hundreds. They just divided us into groups of 10, made us draw straws, and whoever drew the short straw had to be executed by the other 9. Didn't matter whether he'd done anything wrong. One of us in 10 would die for the crimes of the collective. We call it decimation. If that seems like rough justice to you, you're in for a rude shock. Because the golden rule is exactly 10 times worse. The magistrate can explain the rest. Who's up these stairs?
Whatever are you wearing? Oh, I wish Horatius would stop letting barbarians in here. What do you want? You know, some people say it's the creation of an all-seeing God who's watching everything we do. But what kind of an awful, incompetent God would let my sister go missing on his or her watch? Did you hear that? Curse you, you coward! Where is my sister? What do you have to say for yourself? No response. Nothing. That's what I thought. I'm telling you, this mysterious god of ours has to be asleep on the job. Either that, or, like people are saying, it really is just a children's fable my father is exploiting to frighten us into behaving. I suppose we will. I'm Sentia, eldest daughter of the magistrate. But you'd know that if you'd been invited in here and introduced properly. What are you doing in here? And why are you dressed like that? Really? I'd never have noticed, what with your flawless accent, appropriate attire, and impressive mastery of our customs. Now, remind me, why are we having this conversation?
She's likeable,
Ugh, what is it with you people? You heard the rumor that my little sister escaped and figure I must know a way out too. Is that it? Well, that's just a stupid rumor. We have no idea what happened to Scintilla. I wish you mouth breathers would just leave me alone. I don't know. Can you? Can you tell me how a person could have disappeared from a city with no exits and no crime? Was she snatched away by the harpies? It was 3 weeks ago. We ate our evening meal together, and I remember she seemed happy. In love. We went into our rooms, I went to sleep, and when I woke up, she was gone. That's it.
sounds like she was kidnapped.
I think so, yes. But she was very careful about keeping his identity a secret, even from me. Because our father had plans to marry her off, eventually, and even a rumor about her attachment to some mystery man might have ruined those plans. I don't know, but it's been 3 weeks since she disappeared, and he hasn't come forward. That might speak to a guilty conscience. All I know is, whoever he is, he's still here in the city.
Makes you say that.
So you'll help me find her?
Yeah, why not?
Oh, thank you. You should probably take a look through her room. It's the one just by the front door. Maybe you'll find something the rest of us missed. Thanks. I'd appreciate it.
But I need to, can we talk about Santa?
Of course. What have you discovered? Yes, please do.
Okay. So, she sent it. Right, let's go and see the magistrate then. Is that in there? Presume it is. Is that him? Hi. There he is. Sentius. Hello.
We're finally alone. I assume you already know who I am. May I know your name?
Sure.
A curious name, to match a curious accent. But I digress. I see you have the piercing and astute eyes of Athena. You must be a woman of great learning. We're always happy to welcome another scholar to our little community. Equitia will be delighted to meet you, I'm sure. Now, you're probably wondering why I summoned you, and I'll get to that. But first, take a look at this wondrous place, would you? A secret city built deep in the mountains, many hundreds of years ago. Indeed. More importantly, consider the miraculous community we've built here over the last 7 months. 22 complete strangers brought together by the fates, living and working together in our own little paradise. And in all that time, not a single sin has been committed. No fights, no theft, nothing. Have you ever witnessed something so extraordinary as a city without sin? Nor could I, until I came here. But the reason for this miracle is as simple as it is terrifying. If even one person commits a sin here, every last one of us will die. You see, the builders of this place, whoever they were, left inscriptions warning, "The many shall suffer for the sins of the one." From what we can gather, breaking the law here will anger the gods and provoke a terrible punishment. Like the curses of Medusa and Midas combined, turning us all to gold. We've come to call it the Golden Rule. It's extraordinary that we've survived as long as we have, and each day I grow more and more afraid that our time in the sun is almost up. And now it seems that day is finally here. All that matters is that somebody in this city is about to break the Golden Rule. Why else would Proserpina send you now? Unless you and I can stop them, our doom is assured. I know that's a lot to take in, and you look like you have questions. Please, ask away.
Counts as a sin.
An intelligent question. There was a good deal of debate about that in our first weeks here. Does it refer to crimes, or to some other ill-defined wrong? Of course, everyone agrees on the basics. No theft, no assault, and certainly no murder. But beyond that, it was more difficult to reach a consensus. What about lying, insulting someone, blasphemy, trespass, trying to escape, bribery, infidelity, suicide? As magistrate, I had to exercise leadership, and so I made a decision. We must uphold the laws of the Empire to a standard never before seen. And we must honor the peace of the gods, the sacred accord between the gods and the people of Rome. It is only by offering the gods the proper respect that we may prosper, as Rome has for centuries. I'm glad you agree. The key things to remember are that we have laws forbidding treason and blasphemy, murder, assault, and rape, as well as theft and arson and so on. I have made my pronouncement on the subject. Unfortunately, there are still those here who resist, whispering blasphemous and treasonous lies in the shadows. I would be keeping a close eye on them if I were you. You see, in my search for a way to save my people, I learned of an ancient ritual to Proserpina, the goddess of the cycle of life and renewal. It's said to open a doorway in time, so that if the unthinkable happens, one person can pass through it and travel back to the past. And when I saw you arrive in a flash of light from the goddess's shrine, I knew that person was you. You don't belong in our time, do you? 2,000 years? That is unfathomable. Please, tell me, in your time, what did you see? What had become of us, of this city? I have imagined it, our downfall, 1,000 times. But it still breaks my heart to hear the truth of it.
So it's actually obvious that I'm not from the time then, okay.
All I can tell you is that it's a ritual sacrifice to Proserpina. I stumbled across instructions. I have to recite a prayer, and of course, as with all rituals, some sacrifice is involved. Usually that means wine or food, or in some cases a live animal. In this case, the sacrifice is rather more costly. The life of the person performing the ritual. I don't suppose you saw any sign of me in the future? I assume that was me. If I'm forced to perform the ritual, it's going to cost me everything. You'll try to make sure I don't need to use it, won't you?
Of course.
Well, I suppose that's all I can ask for. Well, I believe you're in the best position to go around asking people questions. You're new here, and it'll seem perfectly normal. As for me, well, it pains me to say my attempts to impose order have not earned me many friends. I fear I may not even remain magistrate after today's election. The people here would only treat my curiosity with suspicion. You shouldn't have that problem, though, unless, of course, you get off on the wrong foot.
Okay, so basically I've got to keep people on my side.
Do you ever stare at a problem for so long that you can't see it for what it is anymore? What's needed here is a fresh pair of eyes. The less I prejudice the independence of your investigation, the better. Ah, so you know about that already. It's a devastating loss, of course, but that was over 3 weeks ago, and whatever happened to her, it didn't break the golden rule, so I don't think it's connected with our imminent demise. Still, if you happen to find her and return her to me, I would be eternally grateful.
Yeah, no worries.
If I understand Proserpina's ritual correctly, that problem should take care of itself. Let me see if I can explain. If you manage to prevent the sin that breaks the golden rule, I won't need to bring you here. I won't create the portal, and you will never have been able to come here. Thus, you'll have created a paradox. If this occurs, you should be flung back to your own time, having changed the past for all of us. Make sense?
Okay.
Ah, good. So, are you with me? Can I count on you to figure out who's about to break the golden rule? Wonderful. Now, I need you to investigate the city, talk to everyone, help them if it'll win their trust.
Okay.
I authorize you to enter private homes and inspect possessions and documents, unless, of course, you're asked to leave. Figure out who the culprit is, and as soon as you have a name, come back and tell me immediately. Oh, and one last thing. If I were you, I'd start my investigation by visiting Lucretia at the Shrine of Apollo in the Forum. I heard wailing from there not long ago. Seems like something's not right.
Okay. Okay, so I can right, cool. Right, so I need to find out. Let's have a look. Let's mark that one off. I'm not stealing anything. stealing anything. That's a sin. So I've got to go back and change history, basically. Right, okay, so... Get a little history lesson as well. Must be a bedroom. Definitely not stealing anything. Not gonna go there.
Are they?
See you later. Right. That. Stranger. That's back down here now.
Fresh meat, huh?
anything. Save.
Hey, Virgil, how much would you want to make me a bow?
For the last time, Dacius, I'm not making you a bow.
But why?
You know why.
But how am I going to defend myself against someone else with a weapon?
There are no other weapons in the city. We all went along with the magistrate's weapons ban, so it wouldn't be an issue.
That's why I've got to get in first before someone else beats me to it.
Obtain a bow. How do I do that? Let's go and see.
Give me a moment. Sorry I'm such a mess. I just lost a patient and a dear friend. Yulia. She was a good woman. She was poisoned. She came in here frothing at the mouth. Normally I'd treat her with resin of silphium, a rare plant which is perfect for this sort of thing. And I knew Dacius had some at his market stall, right around the corner. So I ran over there, but he just looks at me with this evil smile and says, "That'll be 1,000 denarii." There was no way I could afford that, and he knew it. Then that toad shrugs and says, "Supply and demand. I guess you don't value your friend's life that highly." Anywhere else, I'd just pay a thug to steal it from his stall. But there's no way I can do that down here with the golden rule. So all I could do is come back here and just watch her die. I kept on apologizing. And now I'll never know who poisoned her, or how they managed to do it without breaking the golden rule, or why she cursed that snake's cruel black eyes with her dying breath. Well, unless you have the power to bring someone back from the dead, there's really just one thing you can do. Get me that silphium resin. I'm going to have another patient in here soon. Could be in the next day or in the next hour. And I will not allow this to happen again. I don't care how you get it, but you have to make it happen. Because if I lose another patient this way, I swear to the gods below, not even the golden rule will stop me from marching up to that genetricum fututo and scratching his eyes out. I'm Lucretia, and I'm going to be straight with you. I'm not a physician. This is Nevia's clinic. I've just been filling in ever since she disappeared. I'm tired and out of my depth and miserable all the time. But I'd rather take this on myself than let one of you lot mess it up. My husband and I moved to Rome from Caesarea. He embraced the Roman way more than I would have liked, and turned into an awful philanderer. I would have divorced him and demanded the return of my dowry, but I knew he would sooner have me killed than give me my right. So I waited for the right time to take what was mine and disappear. And then the fires came. As he prepared to evacuate our villa, I gathered our most precious belongings, coins and gemstones, and the moment his back was turned, I ran. I could barely see for the smoke, and the streets were full of people trampling each other. I ran for the river, like everyone else, and leapt in. The next thing I remember, I was waking up on a riverbank, not far from here. It's all right. Say what you will about this place. At least my fornicating husband will never find me. And while there's no shortage of snakes here, at least with the golden rule,
They have to try to be discreet about it. Oh, this shrine was in use as a clinic long before any of us arrived here. Kind of strange to set up a clinic in the temple of the god of disease. But the god who inflicts a curse is also the only god who can undo it. So I suppose praying to Apollo for healing kind of makes sense.
Oh, hello there, Sam. Hello, how's it going? You alright?
Well, she used to run the clinic. She was a midwife, not a physician, but she was the closest thing we had down here. And she was good, too. Until she suddenly lost all interest in us. One day she told me she'd made some profound discovery about the golden statues. This changes everything, she kept saying. But I had no idea what she was talking about. The last time I saw her, the last time any of us saw her, she was muttering to the statues, like she could talk to them. And then she shut herself in the palace, barred the door from the inside, and nobody's seen her since. She's been gone so long now, we figure she's either dead or up to something so strange that she doesn't want anyone else to know about it. But I really wish I could reach her, because that's the only hope I have of solving a troubling problem, a real thorn in the paw situation. One of my patients is suffering from terrible rheumatism. His joints are inflamed and he's in constant pain. I really shouldn't say. He wouldn't like it. And he's a little bit scary. He's become so irritable that the smallest things set him off. And I worry he'll end up losing his temper and lashing out. And you know what that means. I just know Navia would know how to treat him, assuming she's still alive. But nobody seems to know how to get into the palace. Thanks, I suppose. Sure. What do you want to know? Do you really want to know? I mean, if somebody poisoned her, then surely they would have broken the golden rule, and so maybe it's best we don't discuss it.
Yeah, not too bad, Sam. Yeah, not too bad. Enjoying this game so far, actually. It seems quite interesting. It's once again not so much a fighting game, because fighting is against the golden rule in this case. So it's about finding out who broke the golden rule so that you can go back to your own time. Okay.
Hemlock, I believe. I haven't seen her in months. She's not allowed to leave Malleolas's villa, and they are quite secretive. Gladly. A city without sin might sound good on paper, but whoever dreamt it up didn't think it through. Maybe it was an attempt to create some kind of utopia. But snakes like Decius will always find loopholes to exploit. And what can we do about it? Absolutely nothing. In some ways, we are worse off because we can't take the law into our own hands. Well, come back if you get sick or injured. Day or night, I'll do what I can.
Okay.
May Apollo keep you safe.
Thank you very much. I hope so. So is this one that Jimbo's played, Sam? Does it look familiar? doesn't say steal, but
Whatever's in that great temple up there on the bluff, I bet it's worth a fortune.
oh, okay. Maybe it'll pique his interest then to play it. Not taking anything. "12 slave girls, pale and plump." Okay, then.
Why are you here?
I'm trying to find out who broke the bloody golden rule, wasn't I? That's what I'm here. Loads of little markers here, so I'll just exploring. Okay. See, that's the thing there, but I cannot. If I steal that, then it's game over. Who is this guy anyway? I'm going to go up and see him. Let's go and see what he's got to say for himself.
How'd you do? Salve, stranger, and welcome to our idyllic little slice of the Empire. I'm Dacius. Terrible shame what happened to Yulia, but we just have to carry on, don't we? You mean, how did I end up here? That is a lengthy tale. All right. Well, you see, I'm in the business of procuring rare and precious objects liberated from the enemies of Rome. Mostly sculptures, vases, the occasional slave, fetch a magnificent price in Roman high society. Had myself a nice little shop in Rome, just off the Forum. Lots of foot traffic and close to the docks. Good place to be when the fires broke out. See, about 7 months ago, half of Rome caught on fire. Everyone who couldn't get to an outer gate was running for the river, open to escape by barge. So I gathered my coins and some priceless vases into a cart and had my most loyal slave girl, pretty young thing named Acantha, push it for me. All the way down to the river, I'm elbowing for a stampede of people, turning back now and then to make sure she hasn't legged it with my valuables. But, to my surprise, we make it, and I see this barge loading up, and it's so full it's almost sinking. But the captain's happy to take my coin, so I start boarding, and then he puts his hand on my chest and he says, "No, too heavy. The cart or the girl." So I did what anyone would have done. The girl? Weren't you listening? All my valuables or the girl? I mean, I can always buy a new slave girl if I still have my money. So I put my hand on the car, and I guess she realised what was happening because those pretty black eyes of hers go all wide. And in one swift motion, she topples the whole bloody thing into the Tiber. No, I dived in after it, of course. Aren't you paying attention? That was a bloody fortune. Only, I guess I must have hit my head or something, because everything went black.
Hello.
When I came to, I'd washed up on the riverbank, not far from here, with nothing in the world but a single silver coin.
Late to the party. Yeah, I see that. Are you both there? You and Lewis? Huh. Sounds like you got what you deserved. Yeah. Well, I'm not going to get on his bad side.
Thank you, friend. But it turns out it might have been a stroke of good fortune, because this place is a veritable treasure trove. Look around you. There must be more gold in here than in the treasury of Rome. If I can just figure out how to get it out of here.
Just means that I fell asleep on the sofa, standard. Oh dear. Oh well. Nothing wrong with that.
It's terrible for inflation is what it is. There's so much gold just lying around, it's practically worthless. At least down here. Of course, I have an idea for generating real wealth, but what I need is a bow. Just a simple composite bow. I've scoured this city from top to bottom with no luck. But if you happen to find one, bring it to me and we'll talk. Oh, well, technically yes, but that just means you'll need to be a little discreet. Thank you, friend. Malleolus. I mean, Sentius couldn't even keep his daughter safe. What hope does he have of protecting us? Certainly. Certainly. All I ask is a reasonable price of 1,000 denarii. That's hardly my concern. But if you get a job, work hard and save your coins, you should be able to afford it within, say, 5 years? Oh, it's perfectly legal. Simply a question of supply and demand, I'm afraid. Take it or leave it. Hear what? You sure you're feeling all right? If you're hearing things, perhaps you should pay a visit to Lucretia's clinic. We don't want another Navia on our hands. She claimed the statues were whispering to her. Nobody else could hear it. Then she shut herself in the palace and we never heard from her again. But I digress. Do you want this silphium or not? Very well. Perhaps I can interest you in something within your budget? Very well. Another time.
Right, so just to, before I carry on, just to update you all on this, so for those of you who just joined, Rosie and Sam. So basically, I've gone through a time portal to ancient Rome, and the way that I can get back to my present time, these people know that I'm not from their time, is I need to find out who broke the golden rule. Now, the golden rule could be, it's basically doing anything sinful, so stealing, etc., murder, fighting, anything that's considered sin under that law. Because when I went through the portal from my time, there was all these people that were turned into gold statues, and that was what happened to those people. The magistrate had to open a portal, and everyone got turned to gold, and that's how I ended up in that time. So basically, I've got to change history. I've got to ensure that the sinner doesn't sin, and I've got to go around the city, talk to people, get leads and figure out who this person could be that's going to commit the sin, and then I have to report it back to the magistrate. So at the moment this guy seems a bit iffy, but we can't go jumping to conclusions too quickly. We've got so many people we need to talk to here, so... And also as well, to help my investigation, I'm trying to be as civil and as polite to people as I possibly can, even if I don't like them. As I say, I don't particularly like this guy. He seems quite shifty from what he said to me, but it's the only way to really get any help, because if you end up being rude to people, they're not going to want to help you. So we're going to go and talk to this
a fellow traveller from a faraway land.
This chap here. Let's see what he's got to say for himself.
Greetings, I'm Georgius. It gladdens me to see another foreigner in our midst. We must stick together, you and I. And I must say, my sartorial friend, your clothing is most extraordinary. Leather boots in place of sandals, trousers with precise stitching, and such a curious design. I have traveled distant trade routes from the markets of Damascus to the farms of India, and never have I seen anyone dressed quite like you. Tell me, I must know, from which exotic part of the world do you hail?
Yeah, it's and also as well, at the beginning, you get to choose obviously whether you're male or female, what sort, what ethnicity you are, and also as well you can pick one trait. So I chose the archaeologist trait. So when I'm looking around things, I can actually identify things. So I might be able to like interpret things that if I had another trait I might not be able to interpret. I might be able to date things a bit better. I'm more tuned in with history. You'd believe me if I told you.
And now you have me more intrigued than before. But since it appears you do not wish to share, I will wait until we are better friends.
Okay.
We will have much time here to get to know one another. But for now, do you require assistance? I know you do not require clothing, so information perhaps?
Yes. What's your story?
My story? How kind of you to ask. I am a tailor and I run the humble shop in the forum. You mean to say, with all the turmoil and terror of the Golden Rule and so few customers, why bother setting shop at all? I'll tell you, it is precisely because of the Golden Rule that I wish to remind my friends of the importance of looking one's best. I say, the more of our customs we preserve down here, the more we can preserve a semblance of normality, the better our chances of keeping our heads. Don't you agree? Oh, and there is another reason too. If we all end up as golden statues for future generations to marvel at, I don't know about you, but I would like to look my best.
It's true. That's very true. He's got a very valid point there.
A good question. A very good question indeed. And I would be happy to tell you if only I could remember it clearly myself. I remember I had just been to Rome to sell an extraordinary selection of wares, and drowning in coin, I decided to celebrate my success. I rented a prestigious villa by the Tiber, invited over a few select friends, and we began making our way through some of the most exquisite wine money could buy. Quite a lot of it, in fact. Now, I have had visions and awoken in strange places before. I have even found myself naked in the desert sands more than once, but none of that compares to this. This time, I remember people screaming, then falling into a void as empty as time before creation, gasping for air, and then nothing. When I regained my faculties, I was lying naked by the banks of the Tiber, gods know how many miles from my villa.
Yeah, you tend to do strange shit like that when you're drunk. Well, if you're excessively drunk, I suppose. Not speaking from experience, of course.
Indeed. I'm lucky I was carrying a little extra weight. I believe it kept me afloat. In any case, it seems I'd been rescued and resuscitated by a benevolent stranger. I went to find firewood for his campfire, stumbled across a cave, and discovered that trapdoor temple. And here I am. Anything you like. Ah, yes. The many shall suffer for the sins of the one. As a Greek, this is nothing new to me. It is how our gods operate. Have you not heard the tale of the god Hades? He was the first to learn this dreadful lesson when he abducted Persephone and imprisoned her in the underworld. When Demeter, the mother of Persephone, learned of this, she did not punish Hades, the guilty one. Instead, she changed the climate of Earth so that it became hot and dry. Nothing grew. The grain turned to empty husks and the rivers dried up. Innocent people died by the tens of thousands until at last the other gods were forced to act, lest they have no worshippers left. So yes, we know this rule. This has always been the case. The Golden Rule has merely brought it into focus.
Okay.
If we are to survive, I say we must each heed the simple wisdom of Thales of Miletus, first of the 7 sages of Greece, who said, "Avoid doing what you would blame others for doing." It does, doesn't it? But it is not enough for us to do this alone. For even if 99% of us adopt this principle, that will never be enough. Sadly, no matter how well we protect ourselves, the life's work of many good people can be undone in the blink of an eye by a single selfish act.
Yep. One bad apple spoils the cart. And in this case, if one person commits a sin, breaks the golden rule, then they all die and get turned to gold. So everything that I do in this game could have an impact on the outcome. So this is where your decisions matter. Yeah, I've seen it happen.
Ah, the voice of experience. I am sorry for your loss, my friend. But on a lighter note, I will say one thing for the Golden Rule. For all their grim and haunting poses, these golden statues do make magnificent models for my clothing, do they not? That, my friend, is quite the dilemma. But after some reflection, I'm leaning toward voting for Malleolus. I do not enjoy the thought of another visit from Domitius if I voted the wrong way. Nothing comes to my mind, my friend.
I'm not going to ask for a way out.
I hope that our paths cross again soon, my friend.
He sounds like quite a chipper fella. He's quite happy-go-lucky. But sometimes it's those ones you've got to watch.
You look well, my sartorial friend.
Thank you very much. I'm glad you think so. Right, okay. There's so many places to go. Is there anybody else to talk to around here? See, you do get the option to steal things as well, but I'm not going down that rabbit hole.
Oh. Help! You have to do something! A man arrived in the baths. A real nasty sort, with his face all covered up. And he's got a weapon. You have to do something, or he's going to break the golden rule. None of us do. The magistrate made us throw them all into the chasm. So now this man's bow is the only one in the city. You'll just have to improvise.
God.
Thank you. He's still in there, somewhere. I have to hide. Find me in this empty shrine when it's over. Hear what? What? We don't have time for this. I have to go. Ugh.
Okay.
The shrine is collapsing!
What the hell? It wouldn't even let me move towards it.
Fabia, no! Oh God, she's dead! Did anyone see that? The whole shrine just collapsed on her! Oh Fabia, why did you have to go in there? Poor sweet girl.
Oh my God. Just gonna save. go back to that bloke because I'm sure I saw some writing behind him. Not the one I just spoke to, but the one before that. The one I said I didn't like the look, like the sound of. Hang on a minute.
Salve.
Some writing, wasn't there? Something. Ah, there we go. Okay. See, I think with the archaeologist trait, I can actually translate those. Okay. I'm going to have to look out for more writing on the walls and things.
Salve.
Sir, say hello to.
Ah, a new face. Salve, and welcome to our little community. My name's impossible to pronounce for most people, so you can just call me Virgil. You arrived on a sad day, friend. What with Julia's death. I wish we could have met under better circumstances. Well, I'm an architect. Or at least I was back in Rome. That's probably too grandiose a term to describe what I do here. Help out with repairs and try to stop old buildings from collapsing on people. That kind of thing. But you probably don't want to hear about the ingenious architecture or mysterious history of this place. Oh, I'm glad you asked. Some of these shrines were constructed hundreds of years ago, which means Romans have been arriving here for at least that long. But there's one thing that puzzles me. The oldest shrine in this avenue isn't Roman at all. It's Greek. I'm not sure. It could mean that the Romans, who first started building here, were just copying Greek architecture, which they do all the time. Or it could mean that there were Greeks living and worshipping here before the Romans arrived. Which begs the interesting question, who really built this place? And could it be far older than any of us imagine? If only there was a way we could talk to the people who came here before us. The stories they could tell. Gladly. Personally, my favorite thing about this place is the aqueducts. Those series of adjoining arches. They're an ingenious feat of Roman engineering with a very practical purpose. They take fresh water coming from outside the city and distribute it all across the chasm. It's funneled below the palace and into a cistern beneath the great temple. Some of it flows down into another cistern beneath the villas, and the rest is funneled to the shrine of Proserpina, where it fills the lake and allows us to fish and farm. Hey, not so loud. Just talking about that could anger the gods for all we know. I'm not saying it's impossible, but you'd have to find a way inside somehow. Just, please, try to be a bit more discreet about it. You mean the Great Temple? This one's a bit of a mystery. Given the way it's positioned so prominently, looking down on us, it's clear that whoever built it felt it was the most important temple in the city. Unfortunately, someone else went out of their way to keep its purpose a mystery. You see, usually a temple is dedicated to a particular god, like Proserpina or Diana or Apollo. Usually, that god is obvious. But in this case, it's unknown. There's an obelisk out the front, which probably used to bear the name of this unknown god. But it appears some barbarian defaced it. And of course we can't get inside because it's locked up tighter than the Temple of Saturn in Rome. And that contains the treasury. So we're all left wondering, which god is that temple dedicated to? And could it be the one responsible for the Golden Rule? Unless somebody figures out a way inside, I suppose we'll never know.
Yeah, interesting. It could possibly be.
Of course. Some people say it's divine, the work of a god, but I'm not so sure. It just seems so flawed to me. Like it's distinctly human. I mean, once you've been here long enough, you'll notice people doing things that just seem so wrong to you. But this so-called god doesn't seem to care, which means one of two things. Either you don't know the difference between right and wrong, or this unknown god doesn't. And I'm pretty sure I know the difference. Do you?
Absolutely.
Good. Then I hope you'll agree that there are only two ways of dealing with unfair rulers. The first is to leave. The second is to remove the ruler from power. And it seems leaving may not be an option. Good question. It's best if I say no more, but I hope you'll give it some thought. Look, I haven't done anything wrong, if that's what you're thinking. Somebody just has a problem with my preference for male company. Hey, nothing gets by you, huh? Sorry, that was mean. Yes, I like men. And when you grow up in the north, as I did, in the city of Noviomagos, you expect a bit of hostility. The Batavi are not known for their tolerance. I saw enough friends killed or driven away to know the cost of not keeping your personal affairs to yourself. So I hid who I was for, what was it, nearly 10 years? Watching what I said and where I looked. But that kind of fear eats away at you slowly, until living isn't any better than the thing you were afraid of. Needless to say, since I'm now living underground, halfway across the known world with an assumed name, my openness didn't go down well among the enlightened folk of the Batavi. Nice of you to say, but not necessary. In any case, the Romans are far more accepting, and among them, I get to be who I am. Or at least I thought that was the case. It seems I was wrong. It's not just graffiti. I have quite a collection of handwritten notes too. The strange thing is, I keep my personal affairs to myself. I've never really been interested in any of the men here. Not my type. So I'm not sure what I could have done to upset this person. If I had to guess, I'd say it's probably one of those cultists. Strange bunch. They insist there's only one god, and that he considers my nature a sin. Can you believe that? If there are any of them here, they won't admit it. Not since they supposedly burnt down half of Rome last year and went into hiding. All I know is, if these threats keep escalating, eventually my secret admirer is going to cross a line and break the Golden Rule. What? Really? I didn't expect that. But thanks. It's always a pleasure to meet someone so selfless. I'm glad you arrived when you did. I'd start by figuring out who the cultists are. Or maybe ask around among the merchants here. Someone who lives or works in the forum must have seen something. But if you find them, please don't hurt or humiliate them. I suspect they're just confused.
I'll see what I can do. Option answer messages about the secret admirer.
Well, Malleolus is talking about loosening some of the restrictions in this place. And while it's all a bit vague, at least he has a vision. My vote isn't for sale, if that's what you're asking. Nice to talk to you.
Cool, okay. as yet. Cool, your walls need cleaning, mate. Got me some Thatcher's gold. Oh, nice. I'm just on the Fanta tonight. Didn't really fancy any beer. Okay, so oh, there's another one. Somebody does not like him. Oh my god. Because he's gay, bloody hell. Mind their own bloody business.
Sometimes I stare at the great temple on the bluff, and I think, whatever is in there, it has to be important.
Sinner. Oh my god. Go back and talk to other people. There's a lot to do around here before I even go anywhere else. Was work good? Oh, not keen on Fanta. Oh, are you not? Oh, you because you said, didn't you? You said you don't really drink fizzy drinks. Who's this? She's a stranger as well. Yes. Right, let's go and talk to this lady here. Yeah, work was alright. Yeah, not too bad. Are they? So, by the way, I'm not talking too much because obviously there's a lot of dialogue on this, so just trying to listen to what the truth is, but never been a Fanta fan. Oh, fair enough. Right.
A new face. Ave, and may Vesta watch over you. I'm Equitia. To what do I owe the pleasure of this visit? Oh my. I take it people are quite direct where you're from. I suppose it's quite charming in its own way. Usually, however, you wouldn't simply march up to a Vestal priestess and without due formality or courtesy ask, "What is your story?" The proper approach would be to arrange an introduction through a mutual acquaintance in high office, by which time you would already know how to address me. And then you would find a way to satisfy your curiosity rather more indirectly. But to be honest, I've often thought what an unnecessarily formal way to communicate that is. So, let's do it your way. You just keep being yourself and ask whatever you like. It'll be a refreshing change.
Okay.
You really don't know? You are from far away, aren't you? Well, I am one of the priestesses charged with keeping the sacred flame in Rome's shrine of Vesta burning. I take it you know who Vesta is? Vesta is the mother goddess of hearth and home, and the guardian of the Roman people.
Okay.
Put simply, I tend to the temples, ensure their sanctity is preserved. Why? So that we continue to honor our gods, invite their blessings, and not bring their wrath down upon us, of course. It's vital that we keep them appeased and remain in their good graces. You know, I'm not entirely sure. But what about you? How did you end up here? Karen, you say? And nothing about that name seemed odd to you?
Ooh, look at the eyebrow raise. She's a bit like... Wow. She is judging me hard. Look at that face.
Older. I see. I wonder if... No. I apologize. I don't mean to be cryptic. It's just that you've got me thinking. Have you spoken with any of the others about how they arrived here too? I really think you should. Go around and ask them what they remember and see if you notice any patterns. Good. Thank you. But please be careful. I just don't want to see what happened to Livia happen to you too. You have? Then what is it? Yes, I understand many of our friends were carried here by a river current. What else?
That's all I notice at the moment.
There are definitely some common threads there. But I think we'll need at least a few to ensure we're not just seeing coincidences. Keep asking people how they wound up here. I don't want us to rush to any conclusions yet. Livia's fate weighs heavily on my mind, and dictates we should be sure. Yes, you should ask the others first. I'm quite sure it's the work of the gods, which is strange because they've never been particularly concerned with our misdeeds, as long as we've kept the peace of the gods. We asked for blessings, for good health, bountiful harvest, military victory, and in return, we offer praise, wine, incense, or animals. But here, it seems they require much more of us. I find myself reminded of an especially pertinent tale from our great poet Ovid in his epic Metamorphoses. Would you like to hear it? It is rather long. Wonderful. It goes like this. Baucis and Philemon were an old married couple living a humble life in a small town. One night, the town gets a visit from a couple of vagrants. They go from door to door, asking for a place to stay the night. Of course, being vagrants, they're turned away sharply from house after house, 1,000 in all, until finally they come to the little cottage where Baucis and Philemon lived. Now, the kind old couple had very little to offer, but nevertheless, they invite these strangers into their house and offer them food, wine, and a place to stay. Immediately, the guests make themselves at home. They begin gulping down the old couple's wine, so much so that Baucis, the old lady, begins to worry they're going to run out. And then she notices something strange. Her wine pitcher keeps refilling itself, as if by magic, realizing only a select few possess such powers. Says to her husband, Philemon, "I think these men are gods in disguise." Immediately, the couple begins apologizing for offering such coarse wine. And the vagrants metamorphosize and reveal themselves to be Jupiter, the king of the gods, and Mercury, the trickster god. They confide they didn't mind the meager offerings. They were just pleased that someone in the town offered them hospitality. Then Jupiter says to them, "You have passed our test, but everyone else in this city failed, so we are going to destroy this place and everyone in it, except you, who we will grant a wish. So old Baucis and Philemon escape up into the mountains safely, and they receive their wish, which is for eternity together. Meanwhile, Jupiter carries through with his threat and wipes that city off the map. Some say the moral of that story is that we must all honor the sacred rituals of guest friendship, the reciprocal obligations owed between hosts and guests. But I like to think it's that we should always show compassion for those less fortunate than ourselves. I'm pleased to hear it. And did you notice anything? A pattern?
Oh, right, okay.
There are definitely some common
Oh, yeah,
threads
because when I
there.
go back to see her.
But I think we'll need at least a few to ensure we're not just seeing coincidences. Keep asking people how they wound up here. Livia's fate. It must be completed by dusk, just the same as any other official business. It'll be between Sentius, the incumbent, and Malleolus, the challenger. Why do you ask? I'm responsible for announcing it and making sure the procedures are followed. All of the male citizens who are willing and able to attend, unless they're running, of course. That's just the way it's always been, I'm afraid. It never sat right with me, either. There are some women who can vote, Vestal priestesses like myself, but in this case, given my role overseeing the election, I've decided to abstain. I can't allow the perception that I'm being anything but fair and independent, but if it's any consolation, there are other ways to influence the outcome of an election. By using whatever gifts the gods gave you. Nothing untoward, of course. Certainly. Come back to me once you've acquainted yourself with the rest of our neighbors.
Oh, the murder.
What were you two talking about? Don't play dumb. I saw you. Having a shady little chat with old man Sentius up on his balcony. If he's making a last-ditch effort to pick up votes by talking to a woman, he's even more senile than I thought. Everyone knows women can't vote. What else would you be murmuring about on election day? Mark my words, Malleolus is going to be magistrate by the end of the day. And if I tell him you sided with that feeble old has-been, that you've been trying to undermine his hard-won victory, you'll have picked the wrong patron. Got it? Good, then stay out of it. Nobody likes Caput Murdae foreigners interfering in an election. Can't hurt. I think it's gone on long enough, and Malleolus is going to put an end to it once he's elected. He's going to announce it in his victory speech. Just you wait and see. 'Cause if I tell you, and it gets out, it'll give old man Sentius a chance to interfere in our plans. And we can't have that. We've already lined up the votes he needs to win. Just stay out of our way, and we won't have a problem. The name's Domitius. You want to get to Malleolus, you go through me. Too bad. He's busy. Unless... No. You don't look like you could afford it. I'm glad you asked. See, he's a busy man, and this is an important day. He'll be inside practicing his victory speech for tonight. Left me strict instructions he doesn't want to be disturbed. So if you want to see him, I'll need something valuable in return. Bribe? That's such an ugly word. What I'm looking for is more of a tribute to me, your soon-to-be patron. Dunno, something good. Just make it good. Whatever. Just remember, I'll be watching.
Yeah, Sue seems like a very friendly chap. I didn't ask him how he got here, did I?
Couldn't stay away, huh, lovely?
Oh, it doesn't say how he got there.
Whatever. Just remember.
Okay. So I can't ask him how he got here.
Isn't the great temple majestic?
Chests now. Have another look inside these chests because they might contain something important. Looked at that already. Now that I know that you don't have to necessarily steal anything from these chests. There we go, right. It says if there's any notes there. No, nothing. Okay, so that's what's your name again? Okay. Oh, you can look at, there's a chest in here, isn't there? Right, coming up to 2 hours now, so that's all we've got time for tonight. I really am getting into this, so I definitely will be continuing this on Thursday, starting at 8 o'clock again. So I hope you all enjoyed the story unravelling so far, and thank you all for tuning in and watching the stream. So as I say, it's nice to finally get a chance to try out a new game. On a even more positive note, I've got a gaming PC on the way. That should be here. Oh god, the election's on. Right. Okay. So, sorry, what was I saying? Yeah, so that threw me off because I could hear her talking. Yeah, I've got a gaming PC coming, hopefully by Saturday. So that will mean less laggy streams, for definite. So I'm quite excited. So definitely be a far cry from my humble little laptop. But there's lots of games that I want to play, and a lot of them my laptop wouldn't be able to handle, so I've got a big wish list sort of building up on Steam now and on my Xbox Live Game Pass, so I need a mean machine to handle it all. So yeah, I'll be back same time on Thursday for another round of the Forgotten City. As I say, this game definitely is interesting, and just want to wish everybody a lovely evening, and see you all soon. So thank you very much once again for tuning in. Remember, I'm still doing the fundraising for Guide Dogs as well. That ends on the 30th of November. So if you haven't already donated and would like to, not just for those of you who are watching now, but also as well those who will be watching the playback on Twitch, if you just click on the link in the chat box, there, or you can go to the link down at the bottom there, which is https://tiltify.com at /AmyChezzanator /Chezzanator-guide dogs. So as you can see, I'm up to £201 already. My target is £250. Got a few milestone incentives as well. So just want to thank everybody for their support so far in this campaign, and let's see if we can smash that goal. So there's the upcoming milestones there. I'll just leave that there for the moment. And you can find out more information about Guide Dogs as well at www.guidedogs.org.uk. And in the meantime, I'm off skis, so see you later. Thanks everyone, bye.